not totally sold on Ben Simmons. I know he's a great defensive player, but his attitude, man, it's like to me something's wrong with him. I think he has played like 4 games with the Brooklyn Nets so far,
Right.
3 maybe. Yeah. What's your thoughts on Ben Simmons? What he has done? Maybe being a point guard for this team. Dishing some assists. He was doing his thing on that side of the ball. But what has been your assessment on Ben Simmons so far?
I'm gonna keep it real with you, Mario. I don't like it. What I've seen in this small sample size hasn't changed how I feel about Ben Simmons. I still think he's a great basketball player. I think he's still one of the best facilitators in the game. I think he's underrated as a floor general. The problem that I have is these games that we've witnessed. He's being praised because he's not making any mistakes. But when you look at the stat line, his numbers are low. I need Ben Simmons to show some aggression. I need him to be aggressive. He's putting up 7 points a game, 5 points, and stuff like that. I need him to really turn it up. I know it's only the preseason, but Ben Simmons needs to make a statement, and that's not what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, to me, I have to agree with you completely. He's a great floor general. His vision, his court vision, his awareness of where people are is great. But to me, his lack of aggression, man, is getting to the point where it's like, come on, man. I think KD and Kyrie are sometimes very frustrated with him because he's picking up the dribble. Uh, as soon as he passes half court, and it's like, come on, man, we are not in the motherfucking 80s, man. This is like this style of the game. But one thing that I have to say about the fact that Ben Simmons is bringing the ball up with being a point guard, that
Okay.
it was the first time in like 2 years, maybe I'm exaggerating, but like in 2 years that I've seen getting KD an open look that it was like easy, man. Ben Simmons was having the ball on the top of the key, and KD was coming off some screens, boom, and jumper. That was the first time in a long time that I've seen like the Brooklyn Nets drawing up a play and trying to execute it. And obviously, if you got KD open for a mid-range shot, it's gonna be money most of the time.
You know, they don't have a lot of time to play, but this thing is going to be a process. So it is going to take a little time. But when you look at Ben Simmons' overall body of work, I remember back when he first came into the league, some people was comparing his court vision to
To
LeBron
LeBron,
James. Right.
damn.
So, Ben Simmons always had that ability to facilitate, get people involved in good ways, but I need to see more of him, more aggressive. I need to see 20 points a game or, high teens, and I need him to shoot some 3 pointers. I need to see him take chances. Maybe this is the program Brooklyn is setting, and maybe his only job is to do what he's doing. So we just gonna have to see. But at least he's playing. At least he's in a uniform.
Yeah,
At least he's on the
that's
court.
something.
So mission is half complete.
Yeah, man. And the only bucket that I seen him get was like a running down the lane with a right hand hookup, like a floater.
Yeah.
But besides that, maybe he's shooting with the wrong hand. That's been a conspiracy theory for a lot of people, that maybe he's shooting with the wrong hand. But maybe on defense, the last matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks, he held Giannis to a low shooting percentage, but that was maybe not completely true, or maybe like was an off night for Giannis. What do you think that he's gonna have the cojones to defend Giannis and guys like Joel Embiid down the post maybe?
Well, first of all, Giannis to me has never been a consistent perimeter player. So let's be clear
Yeah,
on that. When Giannis has those big games, for the most part, he's dominant inside the post, and he may have the outside game working for him that night. But you can't really rely on Giannis's outside perimeter game night in and night out. That's number one. Number two, Ben Simmons is a three-time All-Star. and he's one of the best defensive players that we have in the league. I think again, I feel like people have forgotten what Ben Simmons brings to the table as far as overall talent, but that is partially his fault because he's not been out on the court. So I don't blame the fans for not knowing or forgetting because Ben, partially is responsible for making his own bed in that note. But Ben is a definitely a great defender. If you're talking about is he going to be able to bump with people like Joel 3, 4 times a year, I don't think Brooklyn is going to put him in that position to have to
Yeah,
go against Embiid for a long period of time. Because I think Brooklyn and Philly play each other 4 times in a season in the regular season. Yeah, that's a
yeah.
that's a that's a rivalry. So you might see it here and there, but no, I think they want to keep Ben out of the paint so he don't get hurt. They want to make sure he plays, make it to the
In the
playoffs.
perimeter.
Yeah, they got to make it to the playoffs. It's do or die for Brooklyn.
Yeah, and Giannis and Ben Simmons got some history between them. I remember like a couple of years ago, Giannis dunked on him and called him a baby. Um, like a couple of days ago, the Nets reporter Nick Friedel, a lot of Nets players have been talking a lot of shit last couple of days with him, giving him the great quotes.
Right.
But Ben Simmons called out, in my opinion, once again for another player hating on Giannis, saying that everyone is concerned about my shot, blah blah blah. But he was saying something like, "Can Giannis shoot?" Uh, so another disrespect. Do you think that is the right path for Ben Simmons to adopt that type of mentality, like being trying to be a bully or trying to talk his shit?
No, because even just to keep it real, even if your point is valid, you never really should bring somebody else's name up. You know what I'm saying? Especially in a comparison, unless someone, directly asked you to compare yourself to someone like Giannis when it comes to shooting. So, Ben Simmons has to let his work speak for him. Like anything he says out his mouth, not to say that it's invalid, but at this point in his career, we want to see production and we want to see a consistent level of that. So I'm not even really tripping off of anything he say. We need to see what he can do as far as production. And right now, he's not making mistakes, and it seems like Brooklyn is happy with that. But we're gonna need to see much more in order for Brooklyn to be hosting the Larry O'Brien Trophy at the end of the year.
Yeah, man, we'll see what happens with the Brooklyn Nets, and obviously Ben Simmons also was talking about playing in Philly once again. Maybe that's for the press, but whatever. We'll see what happens. The next topic that I got for you, man, is Russell Westbrook a winning player? That's to me, it's not as complicated as it was maybe in 2016 when we saw Russell Westbrook being the man in Oklahoma City Thunder again alongside Kevin Durant. It was debatable back then that he was a top three, top five player in the league, along obviously with LeBron, Curry, KD, and maybe him.
Right.
But today, man, in 2022, his career has been damaged at some point. To me, that the game that quote unquote destroyed Russell Westbrook's career was against Curry when Curry shot that 40 footer against the OKC
At the end of the game,
yeah, when
if,
KD fouled
I remember that. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
KD fouled out and KD was watching from the sidelines, Curry doing his thing. He scored like 10 threes in that game. And to me, that in that moment, Russell Westbrook was like, man, I don't have really the ability to shoot like him, and to me, it was like demoralizing for him to see a performance like that in front of him with some people comparing him, saying maybe that Russell Westbrook was better than Curry and whatever. But that's a long-winded introduction to this topic. Um, you saw what happened like a couple of days ago. He refused to join the huddle when Patrick Beverly was calling for it and doing a lot of crazy things. What's your opinion of Russell Westbrook, man, with this team, the Lakers?
I mean, that's really a loaded question. what I saw with Russell Westbrook and Pat Beverly, what I saw with Russell Westbrook isolating himself from the team, it was definitely a wild look, and it was crazy because we saw it more happen more than once, and it's only the preseason. But let's be honest, Mario. They have been talking about getting rid of him since the offseason. So he has not really felt like he's been wanted from the start. Like the season that he went through and then coming off the offseason, your name is always in trade talk. So I don't blame him for not being phony. I don't want to be kicking it with people that don't want me around either. But you do have to distinguish players and front office and stuff like that. Russell can't affect or let with the front office decisions be affect his chemistry with his teammates because they don't make those types of decisions. Um, as far as if Westbrook is a winning player, we just got to define what winning is. I really think
Yeah,
he's a winning player. If you put Russell Westbrook on your team, you can win some games. Is he a championship player? It's still up for debate because he has not been put in the right program at the right time to see.
yeah. We saw him in with the Rockets with James Harden in the OKC,
But they went to the
the
playoffs. They went to the
Lakers.
playoffs in Houston, right?
Yeah,
I think if I'm not mistaken, didn't Washington go to the playoffs with Russell?
I'm not sure. I'm not
I
sure.
If I'm not mistaken, in his last year, I think they went to the playoffs, and then he went to the playoffs in the finals with OKC. So Russell can win. He's a winning player. Don't get it twisted. But you know, at the end of the day, we define everything off of championships.
Yeah,
And and with the Lakers, he is definitely not the right piece in order to win a championship. He has to go somewhere else, and then we'll see. But what we have in front of us in purple and gold, that's not a championship team. And Russell is definitely part of the problem.
yeah, and maybe he was getting a lot of blame for what happened last year.
He deserved
Um,
it. He deserved
yeah,
it.
point plain period. To me, another maybe fact that I can add to this conversation is when do you remember in 2012 when he was playing against the Heat and Magic Johnson said that Russ had one of the worst performances in the finals by a point guard. Yeah, it was something that to me um, in some ways forced Russell to be like hell of stubborn and not to pay attention to any opinions in even though it was Magic Johnson. It's different that some people like Skip Bayless or Stephen A. Smith would say something about you, but in this case it was Magic Johnson, and for me he doesn't know how to receive criticism. He always looks at when he looks in the mirror, he sees the triple double man and thinks that maybe he's in his prime. But to me, do you think that he should that he's capable of embracing the role that Darvin Ham got for him, maybe the being a six man in this team?
I mean, he came off of the bench what last night, night before last.
Yeah, for 5 minutes, man. Damn, I forgot that. Yeah, he
Only time will tell will really answer those questions. And when it comes to Magic, I do think LeBron let Russell Westbrook know, probably let Anthony Davis know. Magic Johnson is going to say some shit out his mouth that you would think a longtime Laker wouldn't say. So I don't think them guys are really focused or paying attention to what the hell Magic got to say. I think once he did that shit to LeBron James, you know, I don't think LeBron would never fuck with Magic the way he did when he first came to LA. Magic was the reason he came to the Lakers and how Magic
and then
departed.
Magic dipped.
Yeah, the way he departed and then certain things Magic has done. Kareem as well. So I
Yeah,
think
Kareem.
LeBron has let these guys know, like, yo, it don't even matter what we do. For the most part, Lakers are always going to be Kobe's team and Magic and Kareem and the ones above us, they gonna hate on us. Shaq be hating too. So I think LeBron has already gotten in those guys' ears about Magic.
Yeah, he's got that part of the situation. Do you think that Ross faked an injury last night? That
When
was
that
a rumor that was going around the internet.
when the hamstring happened, that was the very first thing I thought of. I'm gonna keep it real, and I don't want to really go there because that's a real big allegation when you talk about Russell Westbrook because he's always went 100 miles per hour, win or
Yeah,
lose. Even when OKC had a bad record, he would always go hard. So I don't really want to put that out there like that. But to keep it real, Mario, that's the first thing I thought because he is clearly showing that he don't want to be a part of that team. He putting it
yeah.
out there. So
He erased all his posts on his Instagram about the Lakers. We saw what happened in the summer league with LeBron when he refused to bow down to the king, as everybody does. And but we'll see, and it's pretty obvious at this point that he doesn't want to be there. He's not happy, but I think that in some point, his career maybe on a personal level, coming back to LA where he was his native city, Los Angeles, releasing a documentary, if I'm not mistaken, about him, having um, open some clothes stores about his brand is honor the gift. So maybe in a personal
right.
level, he can say some positive things about his LA time, but we'll see what happens with Russ. To me, um, I don't know, man. Maybe he's getting himself out of the league with what he's doing. Everybody's watching. Other GMs, other executives and owners are watching what Russell Westbrook is doing here in Los Angeles, and um, maybe will he will not have. Or do you think that if he opts out or he's cut by the Lakers, he will go to another team? Obviously, he's gonna have a spot, but what's gonna be his situation if he gets caught by the Lakers?
See, here's the thing: the Lakers are not going to cut him because that's too much money that's owed.
Yeah,
So
47, right?
yeah, there's teams that's going to want to. There are going to be teams that's going to want Russell Westbrook in the trade.
In
There
the
are going
trade.
to be teams that wants Russell Westbrook in the trade, but here's why: because they're going to plan on buying his contract out. So they basically going to trade for Russell Westbrook to get those first round picks that the Lakers currently have.
Yeah,
So they get to keep the first round picks from the Lakers, and then they just going to basically give Russ a percentage of his contract and tell him to go about his business. So Russ is going to have his money, but then he's potentially really going to be a free agent. Then it's like, well, who's going to want to sign him now? So I mean, I still think there's teams that'll pick him up, but when you talk about the top 3 or 4 teams in each conference that's really gunning for a chip, the way his style of play is, it just doesn't blend in well with any of those teams, I think.
yeah, man. That's an MVP player, scoring champion, assist champion, top 75 player. Um, but I have to admit that I heard someone saying that no way in hell the Lakers should trade or should add those 2 picks because come on, man, Russ is a top 75 player, and the Lakers shouldn't put the future of the franchise in this type of trade because it doesn't guarantee that if they trade Russell Westbrook, they are going to be contenders or they are going to win the championship. So it's like a bad situation for them. So we'll see what happens with the Lakers. And
When the last time has have LA actually drafted someone that developed to be something in LA?
Magic
Like
and
really?
Kobe, right?
Remember Kobe got drafted by Charlotte.
Yeah, but
He
Charlotte.
was traded draft day, but Magic probably was the last guy. Like Shaquille didn't get drafted. Kareem didn't get drafted by LA.
Will,
Paul Gasol. Uh, I mean, the champions, the winners of LA, none of those guys got drafted. So I don't know why they would be so pressed to hold on to these draft picks if they're able to really do something. Because we all know LeBron days are numbered. You look at Anthony Davis, he's not that guy. You know what I'm saying? So they need stars. LA has always been a team that needs stars now. That's not a franchise that looks good when it comes to developing and building up again.
Yeah,
Rebuild
man,
doesn't look good.
that's a great point. It makes me laugh when I heard people say, "Oh, Anthony Davis, if he stays healthy, if he's gonna ball out, maybe he's an MVP candidate." As you said, come on, man. Anthony Davis is not that guy. He was never that type of player, and the Lakers would hope that maybe he's gonna play at a all-star level. But besides that, I think LeBron has to do there more. Have some leadership, and a side note, I think that what Russell Westbrook did, that was maybe a reason to get punched, like Draymond sucker punch Jordan Poole. But that's the next topic that we are gonna talk about. Russ is tripping, man. Russ is really tripping. The next topic: Jordan Poole secures the bag.
Hmm.
First of all, I wanna get to the situation before Jordan Poole signed the extension. It was like 9 days ago, if I'm not mistaken, when we heard the reports that was a scuffle. It was a fight in the practice facility. What was your opinion of this situation? Draymond sucker punching Jordan Poole.
Well, I wouldn't call it a sucker punch. I mean, it wasn't expected, but by a lot, it wasn't expected. I mean, he didn't sneak him.
Yeah,
You know, I don't call it a sucker punch because when you go back to the footage, Jordan Poole pushed Draymond first, so they was face to face. They was square up. Jordan Poole actually pushed Draymond first. So Jordan Poole initiated the physical part of that whole situation. Let's be real on that part. And if Jordan Poole doesn't know to put your guards up once you push a grown man, that's on Jordan Poole.
yeah, that's a great point, man.
And Draymond caught him clean with a clean shot.
With a Superman, bap.
Yeah, he caught him with a clean shot. But to answer your question, Draymond Green has to go, bro.
Simple and
The gig
plain.
is up. The gig is up. The gig is up. I like Draymond Green, and I get that he's the heart of that franchise. But at this point in their careers, Klay Thompson and Steph Curry have their own heartbeats. They don't need Draymond Green to win championships. Maybe before they needed that element. Steph and Clay and others, and Coach Kerr as well, they don't need that, especially if they can bring someone in on that position that has some production. And you see Kaminga, you see hopefully Wiseman can, do his thing. But Jordan Poole just got the money, and it's just too many consistent behaviors when it comes to Draymond Green. He just got to
Yeah,
go. He got to go. I think his time is really up in Golden State. I love it. He's still good for basketball. I don't. I'm not saying he should be out the league or nothing like that. But his behavior and the aura of Golden State does not mix well right now.
yeah. This was like the cherry on top of the cake. What Draymond did.
He did this at
May
Michigan State. Remember, at Michigan State, he punched someone.
like
Um,
outside of the club.
yeah.
Yeah,
Then remember the situation he had with LeBron.
Steven Adams,
Then he kicked Steven Adams. People feel
KD,
like he got KD thrown off the team. Like, what are
with
we doing
with
here?
Kerr in 2016 when that famous game that we was talking about previously, when Curry hit the 40-footer at halftime, he was arguing with Steve
Yeah.
Kerr and
With
saying,
Steve
"Oh
Kerr.
man, if you don't want me to shoot, tell me that, and I'm going out and I'm not going out there." And he was calling. I haven't been able to find the report or something like that, but allegedly he called Bob Myers a bitch. So it's crazy, man.
He's
It's
lucky they
crazy,
won the
man.
championship. With
Yeah,
everything that has happened in this podcast that he has, him being outspoken, he is very lucky today that Golden State are defending champions because if they wasn't and this situation happened with Jordan Poole, Draymond Green may not be in the Warriors uniform.
Yeah. Do you think that maybe his alter ego, his persona, took over his personality of his maybe what he thinks of himself?
In that moment, no. I mean, that was I don't have a. It was a bad look when you fight your teammates. Even
Yeah.
a bad look that it got caught on camera. But when you go into the details of what happened, I don't blame Draymond at all. Like they were talking, they were having issues that whole practice, and Jordan Poole reportedly was calling Draymond out his name. That's what got Draymond to walk over there. He called him out his name and said, "You know what it is." So
Yeah.
Draymond walked over there and said, "No, I don't know what it is." And that's when Jordan Poole pushed him, because it is what it is. But Jordan Poole should have got ready once he did that, and Draymond caught him. So I ain't mad at that because that's some street shit. But even though you don't want to mix the street in with the sports, it
You're dealing with
happens.
grown man,
Yeah,
grown
it's
ass
grown man
man.
shit. That's a fact.
Yeah, reportedly, Jordan Poole was calling his own fouls, always crying for that, and that was when Draymond was calling him the B word, and that situation is escalated pretty quickly, as you mentioned. But to me, that's a great. It's really a great point, man, because you're the NBA. You're not in the streets, but you have to protect yourself, protect your manhood, man. Maybe do you think that maybe Jordan Poole should have swung on Draymond Green first, or that would have been a distraction at the moment of signing his extension?
I mean, in hindsight,
Yeah,
I don't think anybody was wrong because again, you trash talking to each other, and then somebody get in your face. Jordan Poole could have hauled off and punched him for getting in his face, but he pushed him like, man, get out my space. So I'm not
yeah,
mad at Jordan Poole for pushing Draymond out his space, but Jordan Poole just didn't understand the assignment of what happens when you push a grown man, what you need to be prepared for. That's the only
especially
problem.
Draymond.
Right. And the funny thing about it to me a little bit, Draymond's future is in the hands of Jordan Poole because it sounds like Jordan Poole have not accepted an apology. They have not really spoken, I'm hearing like that. And if Jordan Poole plays this thing out in the public, like he will never be friends with Draymond again, the time is definitely going to be ticking because it's the same scenario with Kevin Durant that they had.
Yeah, the same situation, man. And
Same.
obviously, Draymond has done a lot of great things for this organization. But Jordan Poole is the future of this franchise. What he did in the finals, in the playoffs, replacing Curry while Curry was hurt, it was great. He signed 4 years, 140 million, if I'm not mistaken. And then a couple of minutes ago, they signed also Wiggins for 4 years and 109 millions.
The best thing that happened to Draymond is the worst thing that happened to Draymond. The best thing that happened to Draymond last year in the postseason was guys like Andrew Wiggins got better because that helped them get to the finals and win the finals. The play of Andrew Wiggins. But now that's the worst thing that could have happened to Draymond when you got Wiggins getting better, Kaminga getting better, Wiseman coming back. Now, honestly, he is more of a liability than an asset because now your teammates have stepped their game up. They can win without you, honestly.
Yeah,
So
and when we saw Steve Kerr bench Draymond Green during the finals,
yeah,
we saw he did like a Antonio Brown esque performance when he was playing against the Memphis Grizzlies. So we will see when you see these type of extensions coming from the Warriors. What's your opinion? That's completely. put Draymond in a situation where he's not longer considered in the long term future of this franchise?
He made his own bid. Now he has to lie in it. You know, if this was a scenario where they wasn't giving Steph Curry his money and decided to give Jordan Poole his money, then I would feel like what's going on. But Draymond has put himself in a situation where as though this is what it is. Some players put themselves in position where it's like, yo, you should only get paid per game, depending on how you act per game. I remember Terrell Owens had like a contract where it was kind of like he was paid by production only or something like that, or something similar to that. So
When he was in Philly, right?
if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it was in Philly. No, I think it was in Buffalo. I don't know if it was in Buffalo or
Ah,
Cincinnati.
but
Like he
at
had,
the end of his career,
yeah, they
damn.
really paid him. They paid him based off of he got a lot of his money based off of like how many yards he would get that game and stuff like that, receptions and shit like that, versus getting big money contract. So
Yeah, to me, the writing is on the wall. I have a comment here. This was from before. Ben Simmons. Nada más piensa en pasar la barquillota. He's saying that Ben Simmons only thinks about passing the ball. He's like playing hot
yeah,
potato.
he got to get more
Wiggins,
aggressive.
yeah, it's very difficult, man. Wiggins agreed 5 year extension right now. If I'm not
Good move.
mistaken, it was 4 years
Good
by
move.
Draymond. The writing is on the wall.
It's on the
Draymond
wall.
is gone. Do you think that he's going to the Lakers? We saw that Stephen A. Snitch, uh, quote unquote, reported that. Do you think that that's the next destination for Draymond?
No, because Draymond, they're not gonna trade Draymond. Like Draymond is gonna his time is gonna go up when it's up. Like they're
He
not
has
gonna
a player
disrespect.
option, right? Next year.
Yeah, like I think this might be his last year, but
Yeah,
they're
for
not
sure.
gonna give him an extension. So they'll play out his contract. I think they'll respect him that much. He's not gonna go to LA because by the time he's eligible to go to LA, LeBron will pretty much be going on out the door. So what you gonna have Draymond, who's never really been productive, and Anthony Davis? What's that's gonna do for LA? Nothing.
That's crazy in the situation. And the last topic of today's podcast here with Seven. What can we expect from Tuesday's game? Lakers against the Lakers against the Golden State Warriors is gonna be ring night. The Warriors are gonna receive their championship ring. What can we expect from this game? Maybe from LeBron. Maybe let's analyze first the Lakers and then we can talk about the Warriors.
This I predict to be one of the worst performances that we will ever. And I'm a Lakers fan, and I love LeBron. This is going to be the one of the worst opening night performances that the NBA have ever seen. When you look at the ring ceremony,
Do
the
you smell a
Lakers are
blowout?
a blowout. I'm looking at 40-point blowout.
Damn,
40,
a 40
40,
burger.
40 to 60. I mean, I'm looking at something ridiculous. Because bro, those guys in that Lakers team are not built to spoil no party. Which one of those guys that signed and playing for the Lakers are guys that's built to spoil a party, much less a ring ceremony?
Maybe Patrick Beverly doing some dirty shit.
Maybe, but I mean, as far as Patrick Beverly offensively cannot spoil a party. LeBron might still got it in him a little bit. Anthony Davis I don't believe so unless LeBron is really hyping him up. The
And
Lakers,
he's dealing with
them
back
young,
tightness, right?
yeah, still hurt again. So the Lakers just not built to ruin the party of the Golden State Warriors at opening night. Like this shit is going to be embarrassing. It's going to be embarrassing. The Lakers are not going to play well. It's going to be embarrassing. So I expect to see a massacre, and I expect the conversation to begin about people criticizing LeBron the day after. But I don't think that what we see opening night is going to define the whole season. I will say that much.
Yeah, that's
For
a
the
great takeaway. I'm sorry, but that's a that's not even a hot take. What you said that the Lakers maybe are gonna lost and are gonna lose by 40 to 60 points.
I'm
Damn.
I'm telling you,
Um,
man.
the Warriors are gonna come out with aggression. Obviously, shooting a lot of threes, showing that they are the favorites to win the championship this year, going for the second back to back in with the franchise and Curry. But to me, I'm very excited to watch this game between LeBron. Obviously, he's still arguably the face of the league.
Yep.
Um, and he's gonna pass Kareem this year. There's gonna be a lot of people saying once again that LeBron is the GOAT, and perpetuating that narrative. But we'll
Me.
see. LeBron is a great player, man. But this team is going nowhere. That's what's up. So, and that day we got two games, right? Warriors, Lakers, and Milwaukee, if I'm not mistaken, or Philly. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure who the second game is for
It's
opening
not
night.
really that important, right? That second game. It's
It's
like
LeBron's night. That's all that matters. It's LeBron's night, opening night. That's all I care about. I would have liked to see them play Kawhi and the Clippers opening night, but we'll get to that later.
it's Celtics 76ers. Before we
Okay.
go, did you see the latest report on Email Doga where there's a video where he is like um, um, grabbing a lady when they were celebrating in the Eastern Conference Championship. It was a camera in the locker room, and he's like grabbing a girl, a lady, and later it was reported that she was the one involved with him, but that situation is getting worse by the day.
I mean, you can expect it to get worse because there was no details given. So it's going to get much uglier than it did at the beginning. I don't expect him to ever coach in the NBA again before this is over with. And I think this is not a situation that's going to like drive the Boston Celtics team to do good. Like they're not going to be able to use this as some type of fuel or
They ain't got
energy.
no leaders, man.
They don't have no leaders. You
No
can't.
leadership.
This is not going to work because that was your leader.
Yeah, and he was doing a great job being a rookie head coach and getting his team to the finals. Now, to me, and yeah, yesterday I was watching KG and Paul Pierce, and Paul Pierce was saying to KG, "Come on, man, you play for the Celtics. You got to have them in your top four in the Eastern Conference." And KG was saying that they're gonna miss Robert Williams. They're gonna miss obviously Udoga and the young players there are not really leaders in the locker
They
room.
not
So we'll see.
they not
Yeah,
extending Greg Williams, and Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. At the end of the day, those guys are still fighting over who's the real leader between those two. So Boston, we'll see. We'll see.
we'll see what happens. This is gonna be one of the greatest seasons in NBA history. The talent level, the rookies. We will see what happens with teams tanking for Victor Wembanyama. That's maybe another topic for another podcast that we can debate.
Oh yeah,
Thanks so much for being here with me today, man. Seven, thanks, my man.
absolutely, Mario. As always, man, y'all make sure y'all stay safe, and I will definitely be chapping in with you. Enjoy Tuesday's games, people. Mario, you and I talk after the games.
Yeah, man, for sure. So, where can people find you, man?
Again, the best of seven sports talk everywhere on social media, and on all your listening platforms. Make sure y'all go check it out. Appreciate you,
Yeah,
Mario. Thank
man, go check that out. So that was the latest episode of the MOP, the Mario Berandi podcast here with Seven. So we'll
All right, man. I want to thank you guys for listening into another episode of the Best of Seven Sports Talk. I'm Seven Mitchell, man. Make sure you follow the show to be sure to be notified about the next episode. Also, I'll put the link in the description so you can follow us on social media as well as donate and contribute to our platform. See you guys again on the next episode. Peace.